And we're live with another podcast, back-to-back days. We rarely ever do this, but here with Jeff again. But
a lot going on.
A lot happened in the past 24 hours since we last podcasted. Not much, like, Flyers-wise. They obviously won last night, 5-2 to Arizona, but it was more around the league stuff. This morning you woke up with the news of Quenneville being fired from Chicago.
Yep.
And
you also have the video
that came out shortly after our podcast yesterday.
It did, yeah, which is interesting. It was
I think it was like shortly after you left that it came out.
Yeah, because I saw it when I got home, but
video of like a bunch of players or whatever
from the Ottawa Senators basically ripping on their coaches.
Yeah.
And they're basically doing this season, and
we'll
get more.
We'll
into
get to that later.
But
opinions
of course, the biggest news, like Mike just said,
we'll start
Joel
with that
Quenneville,
first.
the three-time Stanley Cup winner for the Chicago Blackhawks as head coach, is out in Chicago as he's fired. Also getting fired is Kevin Dineen, an assistant coach, as well as Ulf Samuelsson, and they. Blackhawks have named Jeremy Colleton the 38th head coach in franchise history.
Yes.
So they already had their head coach, but now they now that Quenneville is a free agent head coach, if I was the LA Kings, I would have called him this morning.
I would have too, but if I was Quenneville, I would wait and see how everyone else kind of goes. I'd
wait
and see
because that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if I was a team looking for a head coach like the LA Kings, I would be calling him. For Quenneville, though,
I see why.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at their standings. The last 10 games, they're 3-6-1.
Yep. You're wondering why they fired him?
No, I kind of got it.
I got
They're
you.
6-6-3.
Yep.
I mean, that's not horrible. They're 15 points.
Right.
They're 2 points out of third place.
Yeah.
They started off strong, but I guess since they've fallen off the last 10 games, if you want to say.
Right.
And last season also.
Yeah, last season
they finished like dead last in
practically
the Central. So,
but for Quenneville, he led the Chicago Blackhawks to a 452 wins, 249 losses, 96 overtime or shootout losses record in 797 regular season games, and
this
also
is a huge move for the Blackhawks.
Oh, for sure. I was absolutely stunned. I literally woke up and the first thing I saw on Twitter was Joel Quenneville was out, and this is huge. And there are some that aren't okay with this. Others are.
Sure.
I, for one.
Like those people that say, "Oh, he won 3 Stanley Cups?" Was it?
Yes, 3 in 5 years.
Yeah, and now you think they give him a longer leash with it because of that. And
all the success
even after the last one, they still made the playoffs. Last couple of years. Last season was like the first time they didn't make the playoffs since I don't know when.
2008.
Yeah,
maybe even 2007.
Right.
So now things have get even more interesting with this because the longest tenured NHL coaches, here are the top 6. John Cooper from Tampa Bay, Paul Maurice from Winnipeg.
Which way are you going? Top from bottom? Or
top from bottom. So number 1 is Cooper. 2, Paul Maurice, Winnipeg. Number 3, Peter Laviolette from Nashville. 4, Dave Haxtell from Philadelphia. 5, Todd McClellan from Edmonton. And 6, you have Toronto's head coach Mike Babcock. And here's an interesting little fun fact here. The top 3 coaches there in Cooper, Maurice, Laviolette have all advanced to the conference finals at some point. 2 of them, actually, in being Cooper and Laviolette, both with their current teams, have made the Stanley Cup final as well at some point. And only Haxtell and Babcock have yet to win a playoff series out of those 6.
Babcock's closer than the Flyers.
Yes, I agree with that. So that's just something that's very
interesting, and obviously you're thinking it's going to be a spark that their GM's kind of
you could consider on the hot
for.
seat as well.
Oh yeah,
because for Stan Bowman, he has made some questionable moves in the past.
Sure.
there's a
because
big Brent Seabrook deal, but there's also...
Well, it's not even just that. It's that whenever he makes a trade, he just trades back for the guys he just traded away.
And that too. Again, getting back, kind of like what you just said.
Yeah. They got
Perfect
Saad,
example,
then they traded him. Traded him away.
Brandon Saad, getting him back for Artemi Panarin.
Yeah, and Panarin wants to come back, so.
Yes, most likely. I don't know if exactly. I mean, I'm assuming to Chicago, yeah, but I don't know when and if that would happen.
He wants to go to a big city, and it's been rumored that he would like to be in
Chicago. I'm sure is on his list.
No, I'm sure.
That's
where he played. That's where he played his best hockey.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you can't deny him and Kane have tremendous chemistry.
Sure.
And
it's not even that they haven't even producing. Kane's third in goals this season.
Exactly.
And he's tied for second actually with 11 goals. David Pastrnak has him the most with 12.
Okay.
And he's 6th in points with 19. Which, I mean, that's not surprising because it's Kane.
Right.
I'm not the biggest fan of Kane's, but he's still a good player.
Yeah. No, for sure. You got to admit that he is a great amount of talent. Here's another interesting fact here about this process for the head coach position. Colleton, the new head coach for Chicago, is the same age as Brent Seabrook.
Yes.
They played together actually on Team Canada once at the U18 and twice at the World Junior Championship. There's actually a picture of them. Someone released back back during their time when they were playing, and it's actually pretty interesting that just to see how young both Seabrook and Colleton look in this picture.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just kind of interesting to see how the whole thing turns out.
Right. And it's kind of been the thing, too, with new hirings of coaches that they're kind of going for, like, college coaches and everything.
Right.
Like Haxel, I think, was one of the first, but ever since
yeah, and then you had Quinn for New York, and I'm sure you've had a few others that are going to be there shortly. Tampa Bay's head coach John Cooper did call Quenneville a mentor on now being the longest tenured coach. However, he did say, quote, "He's got a lot of things on his fingers that I don't have. He's the envy of many coaches," end quote. And that's a great point. The guy not only has one Stanley Cup, but he's 3.
Yes.
In a matter of 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's safe to say that for Quenneville, fantastic head coach, future Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah. And also it's not too surprising. They're older players, because I think what we're going to do for this podcast is kind of what we did yesterday with the Kings, kind of looking at the whole roster of the Blackhawks and how it kind of maybe that played a role. But, I mean, from what I've heard, Brandon Manning has not been the best acquisition.
Right.
And their goaltending stats haven't really been the best either. Corey Crawford, 2.92 goals against, 9.07 save percentage, a 3-4 record. And Cam Ward, even worse, 3-2 record, 3.93 goals against, and a .887 save percentage in 8 games.
Interesting.
I mean, that's probably not the best either. Your goalies aren't really doing the best. Probably might also be attributed to kind of like the Flyers, maybe to defense, maybe not being the best either at the moment. But
right,
like I wouldn't be surprised if the Blackhawks were to continue to struggle if their GM's out too.
Yeah, for Stan Bowman, he has made some questionable moves in the past, like we've mentioned before, but he's also made some great ones.
Sure. But because of those, they have a better cap situation than the almost $4 million.
Mm-hmm.
A lot better than the Kings, but a lot of it's because for the past couple of years they've been like they did with Marian Hossa. They said, "Okay, this is a big contract. We need to get rid of it."
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's still a lot of big contracts out there, and
right. And I agree.
And because of that, you have to sign little guys or whatever that aren't going to be that great. Like you signed Chris Kunitz, he's an aging veteran, 39, for 2 years. Manning's not the best. We kind of know that here. You signed Cam Ward as your backup, and Corey Crawford's, I think, starting to show his age too.
Right, and plus Crawford, he's been dealing with a lot of injuries.
Even Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook are kind of showing their ages too. I know last year there was a bunch of times where Seabrook and I think even Keith at times were healthy scratched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right now, Chicago, they have $3.97 million in cap space.
Yeah. Oh. Both Tays and Kane have $10.5 million a year.
Yep.
Sod $6 million.
And after this he still has 2-3 years left.
Seabrook's 6.8.
Anisimov 4.5 for a couple of years.
Crawford $6 million.
But they could get 2.7 back if they don't re-sign Kruger.
Sure.
And another mil if they don't sign Kunitz back, which I see possible. But other than that, their biggest ones, kind of like you mentioned, was actually no, I don't think.
I think Kunitz is more of a place filler.
Jan Ruda, he actually has 2.25 mil, and he's going to be free agent after this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could see him walking for sure.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. Brent Seabrook.
It's kind of like the thing we said with the Kings. You can't. If you're trying to blow up the team.
Yeah.
You can't really do it with some of these contracts you have.
No, exactly. But a big one of those until 2024, 2025, Brent Seabrook $6.875 million.
Or maybe they tried trading away Kruger.
I mean that's likely. That will, like I said,
but they'd have to take some
of
they might have to take some of his salary, but
I don't think they would. It's only 2.7.
I know, but if there's a team that doesn't have the biggest space,
true. Okay, that's fair.
Hit.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I could see that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But they're kind of in some big cap trouble right now,
especially if it's one of those. If they're a team that tries to go after Panarin this offseason.
Yes,
they're gonna have to free up some more.
Not only that, but Alex DeBrincat, luckily, he's on his rookie contract for another year after this. Because in 2020, 2021, he's going to be due at least a 5-year extension.
Sure.
I'm calling it.
Sure.
He's their next young star.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could be the future captain. Once Tays and Kane retire,
he's
the future captain, or at least assistant captain.
It's hard to believe Brandon Saad's only 26, too.
I know.
I still don't know why you tried trading him back either.
Not sure.
I guess I can I don't know. I've never found Brandon Saad to be the best.
During his rookie season, he was outstanding, but since then he's struggled. I don't know why.
I don't know why you do a 1v1 trade with Panarin.
Yeah, if I was Chicago, if I was Chicago, I would have asked for at least a second-round pick involved
or something. But I guess we could probably bring up that trade and what actually it was.
I'll get it. So. Yeah, it was it was actually a 4-player deal, that's right. So it was Panarin, Tyler Mott, and a 6th-round pick in 2017 for Saad, Anton Forsberg, and a 5th-round pick in 2018. Mm-hmm. I liked Tyler Mott, so it was interesting because they actually gave him up as part of the Panarin deal, so they gave him to Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
That was all kind of like Ryan Hartman for Nashville. That was it was Mott and Hartman, two of their younger guys that they got rid of both. I think that was a mistake getting rid of both those guys. They're very young, but I think they're very talented players. But it's interesting because where I could see this going is we could kind of transition this a bit just because Mark Lazaris, the senior writer for The Athletic, and he used to write for the Sun-Times for Chicago. He noted that the St. Louis Blues visit the United Center on November 14th, and he said, wouldn't it be something if Joel Quenneville was behind the visitors' bench? Mm-hmm. So, because there's a chance, and my prediction is that Mike Yeo for the St. Louis Blues, he's going to get the can next.
Yeah. That's kind of what we can transition to next, I think you were trying to get. But kind of or a fun prediction, I guess, or
who
would be the next one to go? I would have said Dave Haxtell possibly if the Flyers road trip would have gone well.
I mean, I would have put Haxtell way before Quenneville.
Yeah, but the Flyers kind of turned it around this road trip and got 7 out of 8 points. So
Haxtell is also 4 games away from being 4th on the Flyers' all-time games coached list. Would then need 8 more to pass Laviolette for 3rd. So that's very interesting.
Yeah, it is. But I could possibly see maybe Florida's coach. They only have 9 points. They're supposed to be better, especially getting Hoffman.
Yep. But I think so it's Bob Bauner.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Bugner. But
I don't see Vegas firing their head coach.
No, Gallant. No, he's there to stay. That's for sure. But I think Mike Yeo of the St. Louis Blues will go next. Huh?
Especially after winning Coach of the Year last year.
Yeah, right. But honestly, and plus Vegas wouldn't do that to him, especially after the last time he got fired. Because the last time Gallant got fired,
it's not even just that. It's like this is the first time they've struggled.
Well, right. Yeah, and I don't think it would look good on Vegas's part because the fact that they just went to the Cup Finals last year in their inaugural
it would show that they have a little problem going on.
And that's going to happen with every franchise.
Mm-hmm.
It literally has happened with all the great franchises at some point. Look at Montreal. Look at Philadelphia. Look at Chicago now. Look at the Islanders. You have the Rangers struggling. You have the Canucks struggling.
After the Devils started off on fire, they've fallen to tied for last with the Rangers with 13 points.
Yeah.
Again, for that same reason that they are 1-4 away, 5-1-1 at home. Yeah, Islanders are actually a surprise. They first in the Metro.
Right.
Really weird. I'm going to assume that's probably due to the fact of Barry Trotz.
Oh, yeah, Trotzy's a great goaltender.
Because I'm not going to put
goaltender.
I'm not putting anything on any credit towards what's-his-face, their GM.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think those would be the two likely, just seeing how the standings are now and everything.
So, Bugner and Yo
in St. Louis.
Yes.
Which is why I would say you would wait maybe before maybe taking the LA job. But if these are the 3 that are open, you're like, okay, let's see where these teams are. They're all last in their divisions.
And plus, also,
tied for last,
Quenneville has a connection with the Blues because he used to be a coach there.
Sure. But then you're looking at the team in general. It's like, okay, which team will give me the best
opportunity to win? Of course, yeah.
And then you think, okay, the Kings have the talent of Quick. They're kind of like the Blackhawks where I just left. They have the star talent there. You have the Panthers who are kind of coming up. They have some older guys, but they have young people who are still good and everything. And then you have the Blues who are supposed to be better.
Yes. I mean, they are dealing with injuries and everything.
Sure.
But,
and you get to have Tarasenko.
Yes. And Robbie Fabry.
Sure. So it's kind of interesting because the only thing is if you stay in the Central, you understand the teams in the Central. And here obviously, any team in the West, you have a good knowledge of. Go with LA or St. Louis. But if you go in St. Louis, assuming they fire him, you're at a harder time getting up than you were when you were in Chicago because you're 4 points back.
Yep.
I mean, 3. But still, 11 points back from Nashville. It's kind of like the 10 points back with LA.
Yep. Yeah, so honestly, you could see anything at this point.
I might actually stick with you because I would probably want to go to LA because LA would give me the best chance to possibly make the playoffs because if you go to Florida, you have to battle with the Lightning who already have 21 points. If you stick in the Central, that's, in my opinion, the toughest division in the NHL, and you've been in there for so long. But you're with the you'd be with the Blues now, so you kind of understand.
And the nice thing is that you would have an upper hand on Chicago, because you've coached there for so long.
Sure, but in LA, in the Pacific, you probably have a better chance of coming up. I know that they're dead last. They're tied with.
But I think
Florida
for LA,
9 points, but
if they go out and somehow sign Joel Quenneville, it gives them a great out. Because, we were talking yesterday, what would it take for the Kings to get back in it? And I honestly said not a whole lot. But now, after seeing this news and everything,
it's kind of like
this is what could.
I know it's not the same thing, but you kind of thought the same thing when Mike Babcock was fired in Detroit.
Yeah.
Because you're like, wow, they fired Babcock? Like, I understand the team isn't what they used to be, but that's strange that they'd still fire him. But they fired him, and then the Maple Leafs took him and see what they're doing now.
Yeah. Or I don't know if wait, was it Babcock that got fired, or did he leave on his own?
I want to say he was fired.
I don't remember him getting fired. I'm gonna look that up now.
Or maybe it was his contract. Maybe ran out.
I think it was his contract.
He just signed it.
He told the Red Wings he will not return as a coach after a successful 10-year run in Hockey Town.
Yeah. But it makes you think, like, hey, Hextall.
Yeah, right. No, and all over Twitter was blowing up about, the Flyers Flyers fans saying, hey, Hextall, go out and get Quenneville. Now,
I don't see that happening.
I don't see it happening.
No, not after what this past road trip kind of turned things around.
Oh, and that too, yeah.
You have Provorov playing better now. You have the second line showing chemistry.
Although Provorov looked a little sloppy last night. He had a couple bad turnovers.
Sure, but for the most part.
But yeah, for the most part, I will admit that road trip was great for him. Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, that second line has just been on fire.
Yes.
Led by Lindblom, pretty much.
Yep. Lindblom has been and actually he ended up blocking a shot last night, and he looked a little hurting, but because he had a real tough time getting back to the bench. But sounds like he returned for his next shift. Also, Travis Konechny stayed out there for his shift after getting rocked into the boards by Connaughton, and he was.
They
not
don't play
happy
again until
about
Thursday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so they have a couple of days off, so they're gonna.
Yeah,
they probably have today for.
Because they come back home against Arizona.
Yeah, I'm assuming today was just a kind of maintenance day. No practice.
Yes, for sure.
Tomorrow we'll probably get a better opportunity.
Yep.
Also, Flyers news that came up before the game was JVR and Hextall saying that he was only 10 to 14 days away.
Yes, that's correct.
So that's
and then
good news for the Flyers because they've missed his presence.
Oh,
but also it makes you think, what happens now? Because you think you go back to the second line, but he might be on the third line when he comes back. I'm saying
so.
If the second line's still playing as well as
and I think so.
But if they start falling off because it's still 2 weeks away, and you see how quickly the Flyers come back from being good and then being bad, and you never really know.
Yeah.
This team's really unpredictable.
Kind of is.
They like being hard, especially your goaltender's injury situation right now.
Yes.
Pickard and Lyon, not really your.
And then Hextall did say that Neuver is about 4 days away. Mm-hmm. So that's something.
Sure.
Yeah.
He wasn't even playing, got hurt. I don't know how.
I'm not sure.
But I guess we can maybe touch on the Flyers a little later, but I guess we can kind of transition out of Blackhawks and go to
sorry. So I knew there's something I forgot to mention. Raffle is going to return late November or early December, according to Dave Isaac. Ron Hextall said that, but Dave Isaac tweeted
I was still thinking that if the Flyers were to fire Dave Hextall, it's with the full team back, and if they still were struggling.
Right.
Meaning JVR and Raffle coming back.
And then on the state of things,
that lineup, Weiss has to be sitting then.
Yeah.
I would hope.
Yeah, right. But your prediction was right with Dale Weiss.
Yeah, my fun prediction was right. He had 17 minutes. I said 15 minutes. That was my ceiling. Just fun prediction. Did not come true, however.
No, the Flyers did not get the shutout.
No. Believe it or not, Pickard led by 2 goals. But,
oh, well.
I was right on 2 parts. Yeah. Lindblom scored.
I got Giroux scoring.
Yeah, I got Lindblom scoring. They put up 5, and Giroux played really well.
He did. Did you see that move he pulled off of Kemper?
Yeah.
Oof. And also, we need to actually start writing these things down because I keep forgetting every time we podcast what I said during my previous prediction.
Yeah.
But I barely
just
remember that
I mostly
I
just
said
remember the
Drew.
score.
Huh?
I mostly just remember the score. I said.
Yeah. That's all. That's important. Yeah, I said 3-0. You said what? 4-2.
I said 5-2.
Oh, you did say 5.
Or 5. No, I said 5-3.
Very, very close. Off a 1 goal.
Yeah. Guess I said it was going to be a high scoring.
Yes.
Game, yeah. It was a successful trip for the Flyers.
Oh,
though.
Extremely. And
you could have gotten a better thing with the
they got a possible 7 out of
8
possible 8 points, and they finished on a strong
note.
You
could have easily won in San Jose too, but you choked at the end. But
right,
sure.
But here's the thing, though: they come home after a long road trip.
You play Arizona again.
They play Arizona again, who they just who they just beat. And
I'm now
you're at
Canadian
home
Jeff.
after this, after that game for 4 more games at home. So that's the good news. Get a little nice home cooking. So we'll see
I'm just want to look at
how it goes. And also, Giroux,
because we're in a new month now, and we did it the first month of the season.
Yes,
in October. How
you're right.
We figured the Flyers would do, and actually looking at it, we're pretty close to how they played.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they did worse than what we said, but that's about what we were
predicted.
Thinking.
Yes.
Yeah. Schedule.
All right, so it is October, November 6th.
November 6th.
So they have 5 home games in a row. Then they go to Buffalo. Then New York is at home. Go to Toronto. Then come back home for Ottawa. Literally,
a lot of
the remaining
2 Western Conference teams, and that's the next 2 games. But all the rest, you're playing East.
Yeah, and not only that, but 7 of their next 9 games are at home.
Yeah, you gotta take advantage of it this time.
Yeah, for sure. Arizona, you just prove it again. It's gonna be. It might be tough because
it might be a split.
It could be. I could see that. Chicago
might come with some. I know it's a couple days. It would be a couple days removed from the Quenneville fire.
Right.
I'm sure they'd still have some.
So that could
anger.
be a better game than anticipated.
Florida, I think they're gonna come with some anger with how poor they've started.
Yep. And
the
then they have
Devils
New
with
Jersey.
how poorly they've played. Then he got a really tough challenge
in Tampa.
Yeah. And then a week later,
I'm calling it right now.
Toronto.
I think the Flyers will beat Tampa Bay. They've always played well against Tampa.
I think it's going to be an overtime game, but
hey, if it takes overtime, I'm still calling a Flyers victory for that one. All right, so let's go over the Flyers homestand, the first 5 games, or do you want to just do the whole month?
There's 4 more games after the month. So
okay, well we'll do the whole month. So in this upcoming homestand, how do you think they'll fare?
There's 5.
There's 7 home games and 2 away games, so 9 games total the rest of the month. Okay. 7 at home, 2 away. I think at home they will
5-1-1.
5-1-1. Okay. Who are they beating?
4-1-2.
4-1-2. Okay.
4-2-1. Sorry.
Who are they beating? In those 4 games,
I think they could beat Arizona, Chicago. I think the teams I think they're going to lose to are Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay is the game I think is going to be in the shootout loss.
Or overtime.
Overtime loss. I think they'll lose to Toronto.
That's no, I was talking about just for the home games. Home series.
Yeah, I could see it. I see Tampa Bay.
No, I'm sorry. You're right. I'm my mistake.
You're confusing me, sir.
It's a confusing. It's a terrible day out. It's very dreary and it's awful. By the way, go vote if you haven't voted already.
Yeah. So are we doing are we saying the road trip, the home stand right now, or the month?
Just the whole month.
Okay.
Sorry.
I said 4-1-2, right? Or 4-2-1.
That's only 7 games.
7 games. Or 7 and 9, sorry.
That's why I think I was saying that.
I was confused with my own number.
So, all right, 9 games. Let's go.
5-2-2.
Okay. So the teams that are beating is Arizona for you.
No, I think they might split.
Okay. So losing to Arizona.
I'll do the losses first.
Yes, okay.
Because they say 4 losses.
Yes.
I think both Tampa Bay and Toronto, those losses will be overtime.
Yep. Okay.
So those are those 2. I think you'll lose to the Rangers because somehow you always lose to them. And you'll lose to the Panthers.
Okay. So no split.
No split. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you can't. The Flyers have not done the best against Florida recently.
Right.
That's my thing. I think they can beat Arizona, the Devils again, Buffalo, Ottawa, and Chicago.
So you have them at 4-2-2? No.
5-2.
5-2-2. Okay. I'm gonna have them at 6-2-1. They are going to beat Arizona, Chicago, New Jersey, Tampa Bay for Ottawa.
You think they'll lose to them or win to them?
These are the ones that win. Yeah. So for the 6-2-1. So they will be Arizona, Chicago, New Jersey, Tampa, Ottawa, and New York. They'll lose to Buffalo and Florida in regulation and Toronto in overtime.
Okay. They do have a tough time with Buffalo too.
They do. I don't know why. They just do.
Yeah. For some reason, some of the okay to not great teams the Flyers have not been the best against, which is why I wouldn't be surprised that they split against Arizona. I thought they could win.
Right.
But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a split. I just generally believe they're going to lose to Florida because they always do. Yeah. I think that's good for our Flyers talk there for a little bit.
Yep.
But I guess we can kind of wrap off our podcast with the Ottawa Senators thing that came out late yesterday, late in the afternoon yesterday.
Yeah.
So a bunch of players, if you don't know the story, were taking an Uber after a game in Arizona, and apparently they were just talking kind of crap or whatever about their coaches
one of their coaches, their team's play.
Yeah.
How they're not paying attention during meetings, how boring the meetings are, so on and so forth. And
all this on a security camera, and it got this guy's Uber.
Yes. And so as for the players, the
players involved were Thomas Chabot, Dylan DeMello, Matt Duchene, Alex Fermento, Chris Tierney, Chris Wyman, and Colin White.
So 7 players. Ouch. Things are just getting bad to worse to ugly in Ottawa.
It is, but I mean, it's kind of bad to say, but I find it worse that this asshole leaked it.
Well, and that's something I was going to bring up to you, actually.
Because what these guys are saying is probably it's nothing more than like probably other people have probably said in their private times.
Yeah, no, and
they weren't thinking that they were going to be recorded at this.
Right, and honestly,
and I mean, is this any different than if someone at their job were like complaining about some coworker or some manager or boss or something?
It really is
no different from that. And if that's the case, more people would be fired in that case.
Oh yeah, and speaking of which,
I'm sure you've after work or at times complained about something like, why are we doing this or whatever. I've done it. Everyone's done it.
Yeah, and speaking of which, Chris
and
Therien tweeted out.
I'm pretty sure on Uber too, you're supposed to say in the car or whatever if you're being recorded. And I'm pretty sure it's just supposed to be used for like security purposes.
Right. And so I don't know. Well, then again, I don't know if that's just their policy for
it might be
their entire company, or I don't know if it matters in different states.
I think they have to let the drivers know in some way that they're being recorded.
I think you're right
Whether
on
it's
that
on the car, on the
I'm pretty sure that's illegal if there's
a
situation like that where if they're being monitored without their knowledge, that's kind of illegal. But Chris Therien tweeted this out 2 hours ago. Thank God they did not have hidden cameras in cabs when I played. That's all. Have a great day.
Yeah.
So there's a perfect example.
Exactly.
And it's Bundy. I'm sure he said a lot of pretty bad things.
I'm sure you could even go back to Eric Lindros. I'm sure he's had some things.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this isn't the first, it's a bad thing maybe to come out, but it's not that surprising that you hear it.
Right.
What's worse is that this guy one, this guy, even like he was talking to these players and everything, like, oh, like who do you play for and everything. He was like talking to him or whatever.
Yeah.
And then at some point after a shift, he would have had to go back into his security footage and then leak it to the Ottawa Sun.
Yep. The whole video is about 6 minutes or so, but
it's a 5-minute long video if you want to watch it. But for the most part, it's just them talking about how bad their PK is and how they aren't playing that much.
But something that does interest me is how Matt Duchene, at least I'm pretty sure he's the one in the video that says this, he notes that, you know, the players' meetings and everything that the coaches have, they were very boring and everything. And he had not paid attention in 3 weeks.
It was posted on YouTube and Twitter. This guy didn't even send it to the Ottawa Sun.
Oh, wow.
He posted it on his social media.
Nice. That's fun. Yeah, because I was going to say, because a lot of people, at first, it started, you know, a decent amount of tweets being, you know, well, basically the, you know, basically the laughing stock, quote unquote, in Ottawa, you know, continues. But then all this backlash kept happening with it's more people being angry about the Uber driver
thing.
Yeah, the privacy thing. Yeah, so
that's my kind of opinion.
Right,
like
and you know, at first
it's bad for these guys to say it, probably.
Right,
think it, but whatever. It's
but
people are gonna have those feelings.
But honestly, it definitely seems